What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Grizz, and today we are going to be attempting to rebuild the newer look Arizona Cardinals, I guess you can say. They lost Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs, which sucks to an extent. I mean, he's fast, but he's not the best at catching the ball, so I don't think he'll be too good there. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 3rd overall pick, I think they had. Great signing or draft pick. In this draft class, he does have normal depth traits, so I did go through and change that because obviously he's not normal. I didn't go through and change the other rookies, mainly because this is the only team that I'm worried about. It's a team that I'm rebuilding. Rookies are not going to be easy to trade for as is, so I'm not worried about it. But a few questions that need to be answered with this Cardinals team. Are we going with Kyler for the remainder of the rebuild? What's going to go on with Desmond Ridder? I don't know why they traded for him, but they did. Who's going to be our running back? Who's going to be our other wide receivers behind Zay Jones and Harrison? I don't even know if Zay Jones is the second guy because he's 28 years old. Who are we going to pair with Marvin Harrison? How are we going to rebuild this O-line? This team is terrible still. This defense is terrible. A lot of stuff needs to change. But that's why they brought me on. I got 3 years to try to win a ship and see what I can do. I think the first thing that we're going to do, and a thing that I think as long as he's going to be healthy for this season, the Cardinals might want to look into, is we're going to bring in Cam Akers to be our running back one. We are going to look to trade James Conner. So hopefully that can turn into something. The next thing that we are also going to do is bring in Nicole Hardman to be our wide receiver two. Well, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. And I did see another guy that I want. I don't really like going all in on this. But we're also going to bring in Connor Williams, hoping to sign him to a long-term deal, to be our center. 82 overall, 26-year-old. Can't really say no to that. Next, we're going to try to trade Desmond Ridder, depending on what his value looks like. That star depth trait should help a little bit, but we'll see. Next, we're going to be flipping Desmond Ridder for a 4th this year and a 3rd next year from the Titans. Give him someone to compete with Will Levis for that starting spot there. Because Kyler Murray, I mean, Ridder's not going to progress the way that we want him to. So there's no sense in holding on to the guy. Next, we're going to see what's out there for James Conner. Okay, do the Bills actually want him? No. Does anybody have interest in him? No. Alright, let me see. And the Bills are willing to give us a 2nd from this year and a 4th from this year. For James Conner, a guy that is great. He's a touchdown machine. And if he could stay healthy, he's amazing. But injuries are off. I'd rather have Cam Akers because he's young and will develop. Next, as much as I don't want to, there's no way that Buddha still wants to be on this team, right? I just don't see it. I mean, maybe he does. Make a swap for T. Higgins. I'm going to see if there's an offer out there that I like. If there's not, we'll hold on to him. Alright, so we traded Buda Baker to the Browns. I didn't expect this one to go through. I guess I should have asked for a little bit more. We get Greg Newsome and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. 2 guys that are extremely young, are extremely efficient. Both guys are going to be amazing additions to the squad. Now, I do think we probably want to go after a strong safety. Even a younger one wouldn't be bad. Yeah. I guess we can put a Rook over there, but yeah. I'm going to see what I can do. See what's out there. And I know I said I didn't like him because he was 28 years old. We have Michael Wilson, we have Nicole Hardman, and we have Marvin Harrison. So I'm going to be moving Zay Jones over to the 49ers for their rookie, technically sophomore, but they saw their hidden depth trait, Brown. Gives us that young, strong safety that kind of replace the man, Buddha, but he's not going to replace Buddha. But that's all I'm going to do for this time, for this year. I'm going to kind of go through here and see the offenses that I run, and we're going to give her a shot. Kind of a surprise here at the end of year number 1. We finished with an 11-6 record. That is good enough to win our division over some powerhouses like the 49ers and a team that made a lot of moves in the Rams. So we're taking on the Rams here in the wild card. And let's look at some stats. Kyler Murray might have solidified himself, and he did. 7th best offense in the league and some terrible defense. So it was all offense. Kyler Murray with 4,400 yards, 37 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. That's a great TD to interception ratio. Cam Akers with 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. I did re-sign him to a 3-year deal mid-season, so we'll take that. Receiving-wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. definitely going to take home Offensive Rookie of the Year, 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. Michael Wilson followed it up with 1,010. Mecole Hardman with 945 and 4, and then Trey McBride with 688 and 4. Defensively, Kaiser White had a great year, 134 tackles, 12 for loss. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah with 103 and 12. Sack leader, Zaven Collins with 7.5. Darius Robinson, the rookie out of Mizzou, with 5. 2.5 for Koramoah, and then kind of crap after that. 3 interceptions for Kaiser White. He should be on pace for a depth trade upgrade. 2 for Zaven Collins, 2 for Max Melton, and 1 for Owusu, and 1 for Newsome. Did we get any awards? No, not that one. This one. So, Kyler Murray comes in 6th place for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, Marvin Harrison comes in at number 4. So if he does not win Rookie of the Year, I'm going to be very disappointed. We got Zaven Collins and Kaiser White right here at 7 and 8 for Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Marvin Harrison Jr. with Michael Wilson following up in 2nd. Kind of forgot that he is a rookie technically. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we got Darius Robinson coming in at number 5 out of Mizzou. We'll take that. So a couple little good awards here and there, but what really matters is taking down the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card. Let's see if we can do it. And nope, we lose 35-18. If we don't just lose, we get blown out. So there is obviously more work to do, and I think it's going to be very focused on the defensive end. So let's get right into this offseason and see what we can do. All right, so here in stage 1 of free agency, we bring in Jeremiah Trotter Jr. to be one of our new middle linebackers, and Cesar Ruiz to move over to left guard and be one of those guys. Because that is one of the biggest holes in our O-line was left guard. I think he was a 69 overall, but obviously he was good enough to hold down the ship, but can always improve. So that's what we're going to be looking at, and now I'm going to go through and see if there's anybody else we can snag, but for the most part, that's probably all we're going to do for right now. All right, so some big things to look at after free agency. We did lose Mecole Hardman, but Wilson went up to a star. Marvin Harrison Jr. is up to a superstar X Factor, so we need a wide receiver 3. Kyler Murray goes up to a superstar, so we'll take that. And then on the defensive end, Kaiser White is up to a star. Oh yeah, so for some reason Cooper DeJean was in free agency, so we went there and scooped him up because why not? And then I think in free agency, the big things that we're going to be looking at, or the draft, is a middle linebacker 2 or a right end, depending on how it looks, and then a wide receiver 3. So let's get right to it. With one of our first round picks, we're going to take Steven Oglesby. He was elite in a ton of categories, hidden depth trait, 93 speed, 96 jump, 85 agility, 88 acceleration. So very fast, but not very fast like agility wise. But hopefully he works out for us. We do have another first round pick, so hopefully we can make something big off this one too. Next, we're going to be taking Nolan Harris with our next first round pick. Left end out of Florida State. Decent stats, hidden depth trait. Hopefully he can solidify our defensive line and do what we need him to do. We do have back-to-back picks here in the second round. I know that we need a right tackle. It's really not much. Sean Elam. Hmm. probably the best one there. We'll give him a shot. I doubt he's going to be high overall. In all honesty, the rest of this draft just kind of looks pretty mid. But we can see. Jamal Sellers doesn't actually look terrible. The free safety's solid. We'll see what he turns into. But I think I am going to just go ahead and sim the rest, and hopefully our guys can pick up something. And I'll see you guys at the recap. Alright guys, here at the draft recap, Steven is a 74 overall with hidden depth traits, so we'll take that. Nolan is a 73, and then Stephon Reddick is a 74, and then the CPU did draft me Bryce Butler, who is a 73 left guard, so we are definitely going to be moving him over to right guard. So, not a bad draft if you look at it in the grand scheme of things. Multiple 73 plus overalls, not too bad about it. So, we're going to get to the regular season here. I want to see if there's any moves I want to make, and then we'll just go ahead and see if we can make the playoffs again. Alright guys, so here at the end of year number 2, I would like to point something out. At mid-season, we were 6-1. So since then, we have went 4-6. So we've definitely fallen off. But we still won our division with a 10-7 record, a 3-way tie, but we had the tiebreaker over both the Niners and the Rams. That is good enough to get the wild card spot, and we will be taking on the 49ers in the wild card. Now let's look at some stats. We finished with the 18th best offense, so we did regress a little bit there, and the 6th best defense, so we just kind of flip-flop. Kyler Murray with another decent year, 4,000 yards, 29 tutties to 15 interceptions. Cam Akers with 1,012. We'll take that. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison with 1,309, 916.5 for the Rook, 895.5 for Michael Wilson, and 557.6 for Trey McBride. All very solid on those ends. Kaiser White had a great year. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah had another great year with 7 sacks, 7.5 for Zaven Collins, 6.5 for Nolan Harris, our rookie, 4.5 for Darius Robinson, our rookie out of Mizzou. 4 for Johnny Newton, 2 for BJ Ojolari, so we'll take that. Interception-wise, Newsom with 5 picks, 2 for Kaiser White, and then 1 apiece for a couple other guys. End of season awards, jeez. Kyler Murray comes in 10th place for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, no Cardinal up there. Defensive Player of the Year, Zaven Collins comes to number 9. Sorry, I read Marquise Bell as a Cardinal. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Stephen Oglesby gets that, so there's a depth trade upgrade coming. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year, Nolan Harris also gets that, so there's another depth trade. We'll 100% take that. And now for what matters. Can we take out the powerhouse 49ers in the wild card? We don't. We get blown out yet again, 42-28. But we have $64 million to work with in the off season, so let's get right into it in our final year and see what we can do. Alright guys, so free agency comes with a ton of big signings. First of all, we get Shaq Thompson to kind of solidify our linebacker core. Then we go out and get Von Miller because I did turn dev trait regression off. Von Miller still has his X factor and is going to be a huge addition to our defensive line, along with Alim McNeil. Both of those guys are going to be instant plug and plays. So now we're going to look to trade some of our draft picks before the draft because there's no point in drafting if it is our last year, and pick up some stars and see if we can get a ring. Alright guys, so heading to the draft, we have Marvin Harrison Jr. still with that X Factor. Oglesby does go up to Superstar, so we'll 100% take that. Kyler moves up to X Factor. That Butler guy that we drafted, or the CPU drafted, is a Superstar, so 100% happy about that one. And then defensively, Harris is a Superstar. Newsom is a Superstar. Zaven Collins is also a Superstar. So some huge upgrades coming out. So now we're going to try to trade for a wide receiver 2 to replace Wilson. And then a right tackle. And aside from that, we'll just kind of see what happens. First trade we're going to do is Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz for 2 randos and a first-round pick and a third-round pick. Nico's going to slide in as our wide receiver 2, and then obviously Dalton Schultz is going to replace McBride, who has been very disappointing so far. Next, we're going to be trading Trey McBride a second and a third for Taylor Decker to be our right tackle. And now we're going to see if we can pick up I guess we need a left outside linebacker. Yeah, we could use a left outside linebacker. And then that's all we're going to do. Next, we're going to be trading a first, second, and third for Hassan Reddick. Maybe. Are the Jets low on salary? No, we are. Alright, I can make this one work. So this makes 0 sense. We stacked the team and we finished 7-10 and missed the playoffs. So that is a very unfortunate way to end the season or this episode. 16th best offense and 22nd best defense. We were terrible. I'm not even gonna look at the stats. But that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully next time I can actually do something. Maybe win a championship. Who knows? But in the meantime, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what team you want to see me attempt to rebuild next. And take it easy.